Hello, and welcome back to my channel. Today I thought I'd take you through my face mask collection that I've acquired over the past year of the pandemic, and then show you some of the ones that I've made as well, and then show you the really simple way that I make them. I'm 100% not a sewing machine expert. I've been sewing with a machine for literally about a week at this point. I learned how to sew with the machine to make face masks. So there are probably better ways to do this, probably easier ways, but this is how my mom taught me to do it, and this is how I do it, so I just thought I would show you how I do it. I know that there are a lot of people out there who feel a lot of ways about face masks. I love them, personally. First of all, no one can see me lip syncing to music on the bus. Second of all, I don't have to wear makeup on the bottom half of my face. Third of all, I don't have to wear lipstick, so I can just keep eating all day. And I'm not really someone who goes out a whole lot anyway, so maybe I would feel differently if I was someone who had to go to work every day and wear a mask all day, but because I don't mind wearing it. I'm also a big believer in keeping your germs to yourself, so I wish more people just wore them more often. So anyway, the TLDR is, even after, if we ever get out of the pandemic, I'm probably going to keep wearing face masks occasionally, especially if they go with my outfit, especially if I'm feeling unwell that day and I just need to keep some of my juices to myself. So I'm going to show you some of the ones that I have. Basically, this whole me making face masks thing started, I kind of always wanted to, and then my mom bought me this for Christmas. It's a little handheld sewing machine, and I started using it, but honestly, it's really hard to figure out. It's really difficult to use. And then I was like, wait, I have a real sewing machine. Why don't I just use it? And so my mom will be the first person to tell you she's not a seamstress, and she's not a fantastic sewer, but no, she's amazing. She's been sewing my Halloween costumes for me my entire life. She sewed 3 bridesmaid dresses for my sister's wedding. She will undersell herself a lot, but she's really good. So anything that I learned about sewing in the past week of sewing, it's only because I have a 50-year sewing veteran as my mother to show me what to do. You know what I mean? So anyway, I digress. Let me show you. So this is my original hand of face masks. First on the pile, I have this face mask. It's first on the pile because I haven't got a chance to wear it out yet. I bought the same one for my eldest sister. This is a little Sailor Moon one, and I bought it off of Wish. Honestly, the straps are way too big on me because I have really tiny ears and they're really far forward on my head, so I'm gonna need to either shorten them myself, or I did buy those sort of shortener things, or little rubber things that go over. I bought those on Wish, so if they come ever, I'll be able to wear that mask, but that's the one that I bought on Wish. I can't remember what website I bought this one from, but this is my Jason mask. I really want the Hannibal Lecter one too, but I also have not worn this one because the straps are way too big. You see why I had to get into the face mask making game, because none of these masks fit me because I have such a weird face. So this is the bottom half of Jason's hockey mask. I think it's cute. I hope to wear it someday. And then when I did that costumes order in November, I guess, to get all the stuff for the Krampus costume, they gave me a free face mask. So this is just a little camouflage one. I actually love this one. I think this one goes with a lot of my outfits. And the straps on the side are adjustable, which I really appreciate. So this one actually does fit me rather well. These two I got at Dollar Tree, Dollarama, I think, at Halloween time. And yes, the straps are a little big on me, but I wear them anyway because I think they're so cute. So this one's gray with pumpkins and bats and that sort of thing, and then this one's purple with pumpkins and candies and that sort of thing. I love them. Those are 2 of my favorites. There's one more that's store-bought. This one is actually an N95 mask, but it's got a Christmas pattern. I bought this one at Dollarama this year as well. There's makeup on the inside because I wore it to Christmas, but it's got that sort of more N95 mask, sort of duckbill shape to it. I do find it makes it a little easier to breathe to have it out from your face like that, but I don't like the look of it as much. I don't know, I have it. And then the rest of these are made. So my friend Alyssa made me this one with fabric that she bought. That's dogs in Halloween costumes. This is the only one of this sort of rectangle shape that I have, and it's because Alyssa made it. I love this mask. I do love it because Alyssa made it, but I don't know, man. I just don't love this shape as much. I feel like it doesn't fit my face as well as the more fitted shape because my nose is so big and my jaw is so short. That's one of the issues I've had the most with making masks. You'll see actually in the mask that we make today on video, the in the final product, I still feel like the chin is too long, even though I've already made alterations to the pattern, so we have to make alterations to the pattern again to make it short enough for me. So this one is covered with cat hair, but this is one of the first ones my mom made me, and it is my favorite because I love the pattern so much. It's actually a scarf that I bought at Dollar Tree many years ago at Halloween, and the straps are actually short enough for me on this one. Look at all the cat hair. You can see I don't leave the house because my masks are covered in cat hair. But I have tons of lint rollers, and it's just black fabric on the inside, this on the outside. I just think it's beautiful. I love it. This is my favorite one. It's just so subtle spooky. I love that about it. And then this one my mom made me is just black. It's only one layer though, so I don't like to wear it as often because I don't think it's as thick as they're supposed to be. But I do have it just in case for like casual, just black face mask wear. And then my mom also made me this one. It's flowery and then just pink on the inside. I wear this one quite a lot too. I should really cut off some of the hangy strings on the ends. But I don't know. I like how this one fits my face too. She really did a good job making this one shorter than the rest of them so that it would fit my little face. Now let me go grab the ones that I've made. Okay, so the first one that I made myself, I made with that little handheld sewing machine rather than my big sewing machine. So it's not perfect, but it's just this bee fabric that my mom happened to have. She has so much fabric. She always says she doesn't, but she does. But you can see it's not perfect. Like there's like stitching that you can see because that little handheld sewing machine, if I could learn how to talk, was actually quite difficult to use. But then once I moved on to the big sewing machine, that's how I finished the edges and all of that. So that's why it looks so much better. So this is the only one that was made with the handheld sewing machine at all. So then after that, I got better. So I'm pretty sure I made this one next. It's got this like these like woodland creatures on the outside, and then just brown on the inside. Little white elastics that are fit to my face. So we're getting closer now to things that actually fit me, you know? And then now I think we're almost at the ones that I made all by myself, like without my mom really super helping. So the first one that I made really all by myself is with this fabric that I bought. This like, it's just white with black outline cats, and I bought black elastic. Now this one, I made it, and it was way too big because I followed the original pattern, not the pattern after I had sort of altered it. So it was way too big, so I ended up pleating the sides a little bit. There's like lipstick on it, what the heck? But I don't know if my camera will pick that up, but I pleated the sides a little bit over here, and it doesn't look the best, but it definitely helps it fit my face. See? So I thought I was going to do that in the mask that we're going to make today in a second, but I ended up not having to pleat it because I sort of cut it up high enough. So then after that, the next one I made is actually my favorite mask that I've made to date. It doesn't have elastic on it yet because I want to use white elastic for it. But this one, look at this. This is cats on bookshelves. Look at how cute they are. I'm so obsessed with them. And then it's just orange on the inside. So I just feel like this one would look better with white elastic than black. And it just fits me so well, you know? So I really like that one. And then the most recent one that I made is this Moon and Stars. I haven't finished the elastic yet because I have to hand sew them and I just hate that. But I pleated the sides on this one, but I really, like, it's kind of ugly. Like, I didn't do a very good job. But I figured it doesn't really matter because I have so much hair. So those are all the face masks that I have. I'm sure my collection will continue to grow as I acquire more fabrics, but it's sort of just been like a fun little craft that I've enjoyed doing while I'm here in my house, not doing anything else. Preparing for when things open again and I inevitably have to leave my house again, but we still have to worry about the virus, that sort of thing. Please wear your mask. It goes over your nose. It sounds like it's not difficult, but I promise you, so many people don't understand that it has to be over your nose, or what's the point? So let's just jump into the tutorial part of this now, and I will take you into the kitchen, and we will start cutting the pattern pieces for today's face mask. So I'm just going to take my fabric. I'm just going to open it up. Didn't mean to wreck that, but oh well. Now I only need 2 thick. Just gonna shoo all that away. Take the mask. So this is my pattern. I literally googled face mask pattern and we printed it off. So it's not hard to find. The bottom is folded up because I don't need all this extra space. Make sure you're not cutting on a fold. So, I didn't do a very good job of explaining what I'm doing here, so let me just tell you in a voiceover. So pretty much what I've done is I've used some pins, and I've pinned the pattern to the fabric. Now there are 2 layers of fabric here because I need 2 pattern pieces, because the inside of the mask that we're going to make is going to be purple. I have 2 pieces of another fabric for the outside. In total, you need 4 fabric pieces to make a mask. Does that make sense? So we're going to have 2 pieces of this fabric and then 2 pieces of a sort of witchy fabric. And the witchy fabric will be the outside and the purple will be the inside. Now we have it separate from the rest, which does make it a little bit easier to cut. And we're just going to and then up this bottom side. Now the only issue is it's really wrinkled, so I'm actually gonna iron it before I sew anything else. So that's the pattern cut out. Put this back in here. And I will go get the ironing. So my mother has this extremely handy mini iron that my eldest sister got her for Christmas. That I don't know that my mother has used once, but I have used it a bunch of times. Just plug it in, cover the pins. Okay. So, I'm really not as careful with the iron as I probably should be. So the mask we're going to be making today is this. So I bought this witchy fabric off of Spoonflower on Etsy, and honestly it doesn't look as good in real life as it did on the picture. Like, it looks kind of fuzzy, but we're going to make it anyway. And then we're going to use that purple that we just did for the inside to make it a little extra witchy. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take your fabric, and then, so this is the face, this is the outside, so you're going to want to make it so that the outsides are inside. Turning the machine on is also a fundamental step. Now we're going to do, we're going to cut off those extra, those. And we're going to do the same thing with the purple. So these are the outsides. Doesn't really matter as much with the purple, but we're going to do it anyway, just for good measure. If I can get them apart, there we go. You know, I have a hard time with this purple fabric. It's the same as the plain black that I have because it's got a little bit of a stretch to it, but it looks like we actually kind of did that time, so we're okay. Then you open this up, and you put the faces, the outside parts of both masks together. So you can see my mom cut this out. I cut this out. That's why the sizes are very different. And also, I think I'm holding them upside down. That's so funny. It's almost like we use 2 different patterns. Okay, so we're gonna have to make this work. So basically, all I'm doing here is I'm sewing along the bottom edge of the mask and then the top edge. Not the sides, though. Just the bottom and the top. Maybe I should have pinned these together. Okay. Not bad. Come on. Okay. Now we're going to cut off all the excess, which is hilarious because my mom and I cut these two very different sizes. How do I even start? You just kind of go for it, I guess. The only important thing is to make sure that you don't cut into any of your stitching. Which I shouldn't do if I start here, so. Okay, so the inside of this one looks hideous, thanks to my lack of abilities. But that's okay, because we're just going to flip it inside out now. Let's go. So, this part is honestly my least favorite. I can get the other end out. There we go. I got it. Yay! So now that we have it right side out, we are going to go iron it again. Because, I mean, like, look at this. It looks like garbage. So we're plugging in the trusty old iron again, taking the little mat down. So my mom said the most important thing when you're ironing this is to make sure you have the seams as out as you possibly can. You don't want them like folded in and then you iron it like that. You want them as out as possible. Now I've got tiny fingers, so I can really get in there and really pull them out. And then you're gonna want to press that seam with the iron and not get my little bit baby fingies. So we're going to do that on all the sides. So last edge I have to do. And then if my mom was here, she would say fold it in half. Make sure you have this edge nice. And we're gonna iron this. And the inside gets a little crinkly, so I just like to rub that down a little bit. Inside doesn't really matter as much. So now the mask is ironed. It looks really good, actually. Now we're going to go and we're going to stitch along the outside edges here. This is like the only stitching in the whole thing that matters. So, Godspeed to me. So we're just going to take a look-see. See how this fits. Wow, okay, so on a lot of my masks, I pleat the outside edges after I've done the steaming, just to kind of help, because I have a weird shaped face, you know, so I don't know that I'm going to need to do that with this one, though, because I made it so much smaller. Let's just... It hangs down a little low at the bottom, but that's okay with me. I actually don't think I'm going to need to complete this one. So, we're almost done. What you're going to want to do, if you're going to do any stitching well, do this well. You're going to want to, as close to the edge as possible. Moment of truth, time to see if I messed that up royally. Oh, stabbed myself with my sewing scissors. Hey, it looks pretty good! Amazing. Let's see if I can do that again. Not bad! So now we're going to cut this purple end off. Don't know why I didn't do that earlier. So this is my elastic. Yes, it's in the absolute best packaging imaginable. So we're just going to cut 2 pieces and not drop it. So, to put the elastic in the way my mummy showed me, you want to fold the raw edge down. You put the piece of elastic there. And then you fold it one more time. Now, you don't have to pin it in place. I like to, because I'm a rookie. And the goal is you're supposed to sew here and not get the elastic in it. So Godspeed to me. Okay. Woo! My foot hit it, and I didn't mean to. Now you have a perfect little case for your elastic. So if you ever need to change the elastic, you can. It still moves. Okay, now we're going to do the other side. Fold the end in. Get the elastic unstuck from around my finger. Cutting off all the dangly threads is the bane of my existence. So now we're done with the machine, and then all you do is you hand sew the elastics closed. Look at that. Look at how I freaking ironed that. To sew the elastic shut, I do hand sew it. I'm a fairly decent hand sewer. I've been hand sewing a lot longer than I've been using a machine, that's for sure. I feel like hand sewing is one of those skills that everyone should have, even just to put like a button on it. It's not hard. I really feel like, you know, home ec classes should not have been taken away, and they should be mandatory. Because there's so much basic stuff that I don't know how to do, but I do know how to do this. And yes, if you can tell, I'm not sure that it'll pick up on the camera the difference, but this is not purple or black thread. It is navy blue. It doesn't really matter. It'll be inside the mask anyway. Now, I have made so many masks for myself at this point that I know how big I need the elastic to be, which is actually quite small. But if you don't know, like, you can always hold it up to your ear, you can always measure. I know that I need, like, a very tiny little loophole, or else it's gonna sit too far away from my face, and I'm gonna hate it. I'd rather the elastic be too small and stretch out over time than be too big to begin with. So we're just gonna start. It's not rocket science. If it was rocket science, I wouldn't be able to do it. There we go. I didn't want to get. Doesn't have to be perfect, doesn't have to be pretty, doesn't have to be anything. You could probably use the machine for this, honestly, but my mom said it's easier to hand sew it, and I don't hate hand sewing, so I just do it like this. I always do 2 knots at the end just to be safe. Not because I don't trust it, but because I don't trust my own sewing. There! So we're just gonna chop that now. Take the straight pin out. And then I like to cut off the excess elastic. And then, because we made it into this nice little pocket, you can just kind of take the elastic and reconfigure it so that the stitching is inside. And then no one even knows that I used navy blue. Okay. Last part. This is literally the last thing we do. The last elastic, the last bit. And then we just cut off the little extra bits here. And that's the mask. Let's try it on. Let's see. That's backwards. There. So I made this one a little too hangy down below, but I don't really care. Like, does it really matter? That's often why I would pleat the sides so that I didn't have this hangy down bit. I'm not mad about it. Yeah. It's just sort of a thing of, like, finessing the pattern each time you make it, you know? This is the first one I made that fits my face without the pleats, but it is still a little too long just in here. So next time I would have to make it a little bit the same length, but shorter this way. You live and you learn, you know? So anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. Just my little crafting and my mask collection. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Again, as always, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you have not subscribed already, and I will see you next time.